Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan is meeting with South African Airways staff. It comes after Finance Minister Tito Mboweni called for the loss-making airline to be closed down. Gordhan's warned the national carrier to implement its turnaround strategy with a greater sense of urgency. Our reporter Heidi Jacos was at that briefing. She joins us now live. Heidi, an important meeting to have with staff, just given the kinds of mixed messaging that SAA staff have received, on the one hand from the Finance Minister and on the other hand from Pravin Gordhan, the Public Enterprises Minister.
Well, that is exactly it, Michelle. You have a situation where the airline is bleeding. They have received tons of bailouts from governments, about 14 billion rand in debt, and you have staff members who are questioning what is going to happen to this airline. There's been word about privatizing the airline and getting a strategic partner, which basically means privatizing it. And then you have the Public Enterprise Minister saying that we need to sort this out. We've given you enough time to implement your turnaround strategy and what is actually going on. So he decided to address the staff. He found this as the best way to make things very clear as to what the big problems are, and one of them being corruption. He emphasized on the fact that the SAA is extreme. It has dirt in it in terms of corruption, whether the people are still inside or outside, and he just wanted to make it clear and ensure that communication is made to everybody involved, and that everybody needs to come together, because it's not just one person that runs this airline, but a number of people, and they all need to work together.
So, Heidi, we saw the CEO of the national carrier, Vuyani Jagana, also addressing staff just before the Public Enterprises Minister. This turnaround strategy and the implementation of which should be sped up according to the Public Enterprise Minister, what does it entail exactly? I mean, we have a national carrier here who hasn't made a profit since 2011. What does this turnaround strategy entail, and when can we see results?
So that is exactly the question that I posed to him a short while ago. You know, I remember earlier on this year they had a press briefing about their turnaround strategy and their plan moving forward. But basically this airline has a number of issues, and I think one of them that he also highlighted was the fact that they are operating on routes that are non-performing and bring in no profit to this airline, and that is something that they need to address, and something that they say that they have addressed here at SAA. They are looking at routes that just bring in no money, given the fact that, you know, they spend so much going out, and now you have a situation where it brings in no money and you're going out to all these different destinations, specifically the international one. He spoke about the London route and how it's really cutting into their pockets. And you know, I think another major thing is the fact that a part of SAA is very much overstaffed, and they're really trying to look at ways to implement, you know, to try and not retrench, but to try and see where they can cut back on here at SAA. Another thing that's a very big problem is the fact that SAA needs 12.5 billion rand. We spoke to the CEO a short while ago, and he was telling us how their turnaround strategy for the next 3 years includes 12.5 billion rand. And the big question is, where's that money going to come from, given the fact that already they've received so much money from government? And the big question is whether SAA will be privatized. They're trying to look at getting a strategic partner, and you know, we asked the CEO, what is going to happen? Is SAA going to be privatized? Do you deal with the books every single day, and how do things look? But they're very optimistic, and they're saying that the rot that occurred over the past couple of years has really put this airline in a very difficult position.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks very much for that. Still a whole range of questions and challenges that need to be addressed at the national carrier. Heidi Jacos, our reporter.